Hello everyone, good day, good morning. This morning right now when I'm recording this. So I'd like to give you my comments on your speech introduction practice. This is Dr. Haruzila for LMCE2092 Speak to Persuade, and I hope that you will benefit from this tutorial. Well, video, comment, video tutorial. I'm combining the two, okay? So here we go. So first of all, my first comment is that I did tell you in the beginning or in the middle of the semester that you need to add required citations. Citations will make your argument, what you're saying in your speech more valid. It will make people believe, or your audience believe you a lot more. So basically, citations can boost your argument and add a value to your speech. It's very important that you have citations. Now, the thing is, if let's say you say that the sky is blue, so basically you know that's true because everybody can see it. But the thing is, when somebody tells you, for example, that ghosts are real, not everybody has seen ghosts. So the thing is, you need to give some citations. But of course, if you say ghosts are real, it can also be based on your experience or based on your faith that you believe that ghosts exist. So maybe that will be one part. But the thing is, we need citations when you say, for example, that aliens are there, or a car can actually drive on 3 tires, for example. So is it possible for a car to be driven with 3 tires? Usually we drive in 4 tires. So what is the proof? What is the citation? Actually, it's true, but you can find it out on your own, okay? So basically, citations are very important. Now, if you look at my screen, these are samples of citations that you can use in your speech. Now, let's say you have a book that you have read and you want to include it in your speech. You can say, according to April Jones, author of Readings on Gender and Language, for example. So you can add the author's name and the title of the book. If it is a magazine, periodical, online, you can include the time and the date if there is no author. So you can say, based on the New York Times, June 5th, 2006, they explained it this way, okay? And if it's a journal, you can include the journal title, date, and author. Morgan Smith writes in the fall 2005 issue of Science and Technology, so you can add these. So basically, depending on what you are reading, depending on your source, what is it that you cite, the format might be slightly different. So you need to be aware of what you are reading, especially when it is online. Because when it's online, some people don't even realize whether it's a journal, it's a website, is it a magazine, or is it a book, even though it is an e-book, right? Now, if it is a common website, usually like CNN.com, nationalgeographic.com, ukm.com.my, so usually you need to know the website title. Now, some websites, they have the title of the source, okay, they have the title of the issue. For example, the Center of Disease Control website includes information for blah blah blah, okay? Or let's say CNN.com on March 28, 2005 states. Now, CNN is quite popular. Many people know CNN. I don't know whether you know or not, but CNN, a lot of people know them. So basically, we would use the date, okay? But CNN is an exception. Don't use the address rule because the site is well known. I don't know, your generation, do you know CNN? Well, a lot of people know CNN, but then again, it depends on your audience. Now, the thing is, if you know that your audience, your generation, you don't know CNN, so you can add the website, okay? But my generation knows CNN.com, so you don't need to mention .com because we know. So you can just say CNN on March 28th, 2005 states that blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it? Okay, next. Interviews, lecture notes, personal communication. Now, let's say Dr. G said this and this and this. So if whatever we say during lecture, remember Doctor said you have to have citation. Now, that is a quotation. Now, for example, what I have here is a fake professor actually, but I think you get the picture. Alice Smith, professor of economics at USM, had this to say about the growth plan, blah blah blah. Okay, or according to junior speech communication major Susan Wallace, also mentioned. Okay, so you basically need to have some sources. The problem is, I would say many of you, maybe 80% of you, don't have any sources. If let's say you mention that this is okay, this is what I use personally, this is an essential oil that I use, and if I say that this is an essential oil is from Young Living, and if I claim that this essential oil is good for my breathing, it's good for my sinus, I do have sinus, so if I say that this is good for breathing, so I have to have citations. You may not believe me, right? You may not believe me because you're not using it, but I need to prove. So research has shown that, okay, so I need to find my source, right? Because the thing about speeches or arguments, people will not just believe you based on your testimony, people saying that it has helped, I've sold 100 of this, my clients say this is good. It's not good enough. Okay, it's not good enough. So you need citations. Okay, now a sample is like this, making citations sound natural. You can say, for example, tell it like a mini story. Okay, cite the source before providing information. Thirdly, place the citation at the beginning of the sentence. It will be easier for you to talk about the citation, and make it conversational. Most of you are reading. I mean, I know you're not used to giving a presentation, but practice makes perfect. Try to read more, and try to practice talking about it in English so that you can practice, giving speeches a lot better. And don't make it like you're reading a research paper. It's going to be very dull. Now, next is an example of a smooth citation. What you can do, because this is your first time, maybe most of you, it's your first time, maybe you can write how you want to give the citation. So you can maybe write it in one sentence, one, two, or three sentences. Okay, so maybe you can help yourself that way. Now maybe you can try to read this. I recently came across a fascinating 2016 article by Suni Giles in the Harvard Business Review. It was based on a survey of leaders from around the world who overwhelmingly said high moral character and ethical standards was the most important quality leaders should have today, right? And I agree. Okay, so make your citation conversational. Like I said just now, it has to be conversational. It cannot be very rigid and like a research paper style. Okay, now next is being dependent on notes. You have to talk about your speech like you are trying to convince people. You are trying to convince people what you are saying, your argument is what's important, is what's the most important, that people will benefit from what you are saying. But majority of you just now, when I saw on Padlet, I was commenting. Please look at my comments and ask me if you don't understand. I've given my comments on Padlet based on your speeches. Now, most of you are reading. I know it's your first time. Maybe you're not used to it, so you need to practice a lot more. Most of you are dependent on notes. So when you are reading, it will make you look like you lack confidence. You don't look confident. Now, how do you look confident? One is how you present yourself, how you speak, and this is an example. Now, these are some examples from my previous students. And if you look at this, what do you think they have in common? What do you think they have in common? The thing is, they're looking at the camera, they are standing up. So I can't stand up right now because I'm sitting down at my table because I'm giving you tips. I'm not giving a speech. But don't compare your speech with my tutorial because I am giving you tips on how to make your speech better. But if I were to stand up, I would have to look like this, like the girl on the left who talked about Garrett Hardin. So she stood up. I think she's against her curtains, and she doesn't have any wallpaper, but she added some of her slides. And the girl on the right, she has "Why Hunting of Malayan Tiger Should Be Stopped," and she has a wallpaper. So you decide if you can add a wallpaper to your background, that'd be good. Right now, I don't have any wallpaper. I'm just showing you my room. But if you can, that'll be good. It will, cover whatever background that you have that's not nice. But if your background is already covered with a curtain, like the girl on the left, then that's okay. But not everybody has that luxury, right? So you can see the boy below, the student who said, "My heart is bubbling with joy." So he's looking straight at the camera. Now, try to get your room, if possible, if you have to present in your room, make sure that your room has minimal distractions, like this student below, this boy. Okay, so try not to have too many distractions. What I mean by distractions are your essentials, your towel, okay, your intimates. Do not leave your intimates in the background. You know what I mean by intimates, okay? Intimate garments, okay? Don't leave censored stuff at the back. Don't let people walk behind you when you are presenting, okay? So make your presentation make you look good, make you look confident, okay? Now, which brings me to nonverbal gestures. When you give nonverbal gestures, you have to remember that you are giving body language. We communicate not just in our speech, we also communicate in our body language. See my hand gestures, I'm sure you're judging me based on my hand gestures, right? So basically, when people speak, you're already being judged. That's why TikTok is so famous. Instagram is so famous. People like, or people hate, or people laugh, or people find humor in things, and your nonverbal gestures make so much meaning. So please decide, how do you want to talk about your speech? Think about ways that can make you confident. I've had some students who are not that confident when presenting. So maybe you can use paraphernalia. You can use objects. If you're promoting this essential oil, I had this just now. So maybe you can hold it. Okay, make sure you're not holding it and covering your face at the same time, like this. Try not to cover, unless you want to really talk about it. So you make sure you know you're showing it to the camera. Oops, I'm covering with my hand. So you're showing it there. Some people do it like this, right? I think on YouTube that's how they do it. Okay, so show your instruments in front of the camera if it will help you make you more confident. Okay, so think of your nonverbal gestures. It will show your identity. Okay. Now, number four, okay, sorry, before I go to number four, think about your nonverbal language. Okay, your nonverbal language can be distracting, it can be amusing, it can be, it's your character. Who are you? This is where you find out what sort of person am I. Am I going to be somebody who is funny? Am I going to be somebody serious because my speech is serious? Now, if your speech is serious, your nonverbal should not be looking like this, because this is kind of humoristic. It's humorous, right? Sorry, it's humorous. It is not serious. So know that your nonverbal language has to match your topic. Okay? Now, finally, prepare your slides. For this week, our class is again asynchronous. I know it's near the New Year. New Year is tomorrow. Isn't that exciting? Disturbing? How do you feel? 2025 is around the corner. Well, anyway, life has to go on. Work is as usual. You need to prepare your slides. So prepare your slides for your presentation. I've shown you many presentations. If you don't have slides in that way, I know nowadays we're using uh, what do you call it, online systems. You might have some words that you want to just let pass by the front of your frame, but then just prepare them. So at least I can see what you're using is not too cluttered, and it is useful for your audience to follow. Okay, so I've already uploaded it on UKM Folio. And this is the assignment for this week, week 12. I've already put it here. You can find it on UKM Folio. Okay, just upload it, and it is in PDF version. PDF only. It's easier for me to see because I'm using UK and Folio. It's easier for me to comment, okay? And I need to go through it very quickly because you know, there's many of you. Okay, so I need to go through it, and I need to be fair because I really want to help you, and I really want to be able to comment on everybody's work so that it would be beneficial for you to advance to the next level. Okay? So that's for next week. Sorry, that was for this week. Now this is for next week. We're already approaching week 13. Next week is week 13. Your presentation will be week 14. Now next week is class as usual, whether it is synchronous live, you know, or it is face to face. If it can be face to face, that'd be good. We'll see. We'll talk about it on Telegram. But nevertheless, this practice is going to continue. So you need to present and upload your links to this you can follow assignment. You can use YouTube or your own Google Drive, but please check your setting. So what you have to do, so you need to present only about 80%, only yeah, 80%, meaning that you can just eliminate maybe the conclusion, you can eliminate something, but don't eliminate the slide. Try to see if you can add, you know, your slides, your introduction, the main points. Now you have presented the introduction. Now it's time for you to include your main points, main ideas as much as possible. But anyway, I only said 80%. But if you are ready for the whole, you know, presentation, let me see. Now the whole presentation needs to be about 8 minutes. Okay, 8 minutes. Some students did about 6.5 minutes. So 6.5 minutes to 8 minutes is fine. Maximum, I would say 10 minutes. Maximum, I'm talking about the full presentation. The full presentation is about 10 minutes, but do not exceed 10 minutes. 8 minutes is perfect. Okay, so that's you know, that will be next week, January 6th, January 2025, and I've enabled it, I've programmed it to be online by 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. So that will be assignment for next week. So the Happy New Year 2025. Let's welcome 2025. Let's meet in 2025 and let's have a wonderful presentation, and all the best to everyone and good luck. I'll see you next year. I'll see you in class next week, inshallah. Okay, so all the best everyone and good luck. Bye.